Hey girl, hey, it's Dymond here and I'm back with another video. Today we are continuing with the Slay of the Week series. Today's girl boss is someone who I admire and look up to. Her book is phenomenal and I'm so happy to have her here today. Her name is Courtney Aiken and let's just get into the video. You guys, today we are chatting with Courtney Aiken. She is a mentor, an evangelist, an author, and so much more. I'm so happy to have her here today. How do you want to introduce yourself?
Wow. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Courtney. I'm so excited to be here with you all, and definitely excited about this connection with Dymond as well. So thankful for the opportunity.
Yes, so she is the ShEO. You have the Showkase Agency, and then you have your Finding Me Before I'm Found. So, What is the Showkase Agency?
So the Showkase Agency is a consulting agency where we offer branding services. We also do event management and coordination and project management and facilitation as well. So we do a whole lot of work on a lot of projects, work on a lot of events for people. I'm always sending out contracts for clients as well. So that's a little bit about my business.
Okay, and then Finding Me Before I'm Found is for women, single women who are discovering their identity and their purpose before marriage.
Right.
How did you think about that? How did you come up with that?
So I wanted to do something to honor my grandmother's memory. It was like about 5 years ago, 2015. And I wanted to do it. Her birthday just so happened to fall on a Saturday that year. And so I said, you know what? I just want to do like a brunch or something just to empower single women, just to go forth and do something honoring my grandmother's memory again. And so it wound up turning out to be bigger than we expected. We wound up turning it into like a one-day retreat.
Oh, nice.
So we did like a brunch, and then we did like a ladies' night out at night. And I did it in Columbus, Georgia, in a city that I've never done anything in before. But God said to go, so I went, and it was amazing.
Wow.
So after that, everyone was like, okay, so when's the next event? When's the next event? So we started going to different cities throughout the southeastern region doing brunches. And then after that, everyone was like, okay, so what about next year? What are you going to turn into a conference? And so each year we do different events. Of course, this year with the pandemic, we haven't done as many. But each quarter we do a brunch in a different city, and we do an annual conference as well.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. I think that's so different. We don't have that for the single folks. They have all these married retreats and all these his and hers. But you don't see the single people having like an actual outlet to just get together because it's hard. It's hard.
But you know what's amazing, Dymond, is that I have a lot of married women who come.
Really?
And what they tell me is because even though they're married, they still have to be reminded of what they have to do as a married, not just as a married woman, but as a woman. They still have to sometimes come back into alignment and make sure that they're in their true purpose, operating to their best capacity and ability as a woman.
That's crazy. That you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were born in South Carolina. How has your upbringing shaped who you are?
Wow, that's an amazing question. I was born in a household with my parents who, I'm actually adopted.
Oh, wow.
But the household I grew up in, my parents were married for 45 years up until my father passed away. So I was around marriage and just seeing, like learning those different secrets that my mom has taught me about, how to keep a peaceful household and all of that, seeing them work together as a team. And so they really instilled in me from a young age, to focus on your education, focus on God, focus on working, and at the right time, the right person will come. So I've always, because of what was embedded in me from being a little girl, my focus has always been on my purpose, knowing that at the right time that will come. And there are so many tools and of wisdom that my father has given me too. And, so a lot of those tools I like to share with women, who may not have had their father in their lives or had a male figure. to be that guide for them. So I'm definitely thankful for that.
That's amazing. I think people who grow up in a two-family household, that's already embedded in them. And I know, like you said, your brand, you can pour into women the same way your dad poured into you. Because we might not, everyone might not have that father figure to tell them how a guy is supposed to treat you, that the man will find you. I think you being that outlet for women is so empowering. It's so amazing. No problem. So, like you said, education. You went to Spelman. I went to Clark. Shout out to the AUC. Yes. So, I feel like Spelman women have a reputation of being very prestigious and just different kind of women. Okay. How has Spelman changed you as an adult?
Wow. I'll say this. The Spelman name has definitely opened a lot of doors for me. I remember I had to work as a caseworker with veterans one time because the market that I was in, when we had the bad recession in 2000, that was right after I graduated. The same year, we went right into a recession. So a lot of my friends and I that graduated, we had to just work whatever jobs we could find until the economy turned around and we could start, kind of finding jobs within the career path we wanted to take. And so I remember working as a caseworker with veterans, and my office manager told me, she said, "Wow, you went to Spelman, you could probably run this whole office and take my job." And I was like, whoa, So for me, I think that when I was younger, I really didn't not take it seriously, but I really didn't marvel in it or really understand the depth of how great a name that was and a legacy that I was a part of. But now that I'm older, it's like I embrace it even more. I love it even more. I value it. That's the word. I didn't value it as much as I do now. I looked at it as, I just graduated from Spelman, but now it's like we have such a rich legacy and all of that. I definitely value it and appreciate it.
That's good. I feel like Spelman women, you guys hold your legacy. Each one that comes out does something amazing. So it's not a surprise that you did all that you did, because it's not surprising. Because I feel like if you go through Spelman, you just they pour so much into you that they all go into the world and pour into others. So that's amazing. So your brand, Finding Me Before I'm Found, like I said before, is meant for women when they're single to find their purpose. So do you think women need to find themselves before entering a relationship, or do you think that they can be in a relationship and grow into the woman that's supposed to be?
I think it's a mixture of both.
Okay.
Because I think that as you grow and evolve as a woman, you'll attract the things that are for you.
Okay.
As you start to come into learning who you truly are, to finding your identity, discovering your purpose. Because that's happened for me. When I started to really come into who I was created to be, then that's when all these different opportunities and connections came. And so even when you become, even as an entrepreneur, there are still things that I learn about myself every day that I had no idea about. You know what I mean? And so for me, I just feel like it's you're always evolving, you're always growing, whether you're single, in a relationship, you're always learning different things. Even now with my mom, and my dad not being here, it's been 4 years, but she's having to now, you relied on him for so many things. Now you have to rely on yourself, and you have to rely on your relationship with God. And so it really teaches you a lot about yourself.
So like I said, you guys, she's an author. Your book, What Waiting Looks Like, is okay. So I read the book, and halfway through I was like, oh no. I went on Amazon, ordered 4 different books, sent them to my friends. 3 of them were single, and then 1 was in a relationship. But I'm just like, this book, it's not like other single books. Other single books tell you what you need for a man and how men, you have to go get what you want and all that good stuff. Your book really focuses on renovating yourself and shaping from the inside within, because it starts with you before you can attract what you're supposed to have. I think growing up, everyone says the man will find you, but it's if he finds you, are you ready? And I think your book talks about how we should equip ourselves so that just in case he does run into you, it might be the wrong time, because you might not be ready. And I know
Exactly.
When God has blessed me with some things that I wasn't ready for yet, it always fails, because it's like you weren't ready, but you wanted it so bad. Right. So that's why I was like, oh, let me get on Amazon and order the book. And my friends have started it, and they love it so far. No problem. So in the book, you have repossessing yourself, losing the weight during the wait, changing your appetite, getting conditioned for your next, leaving familiar territory, renovating your house, becoming the marketplace magnet, restoring your name before changing your name, the importance of paying off debt, from fleek to chic, changing your wardrobe, great mate, long wait, and then you are the upgrade. You guys, so she goes through your internal, your emotion, renovating those, and so even sometimes you gotta change your location. Sometimes you gotta change your diet. Sometimes. And I think that you told the real that some people just don't say. People think that they can be in a small town, and of course maybe your guy may find you, but maybe you need to do some things up until it. So thank you for writing this for single girls. And even I have a friend who is in a relationship, and she's been in a relationship for 4 years, and she started reading it, and she's like, I learned some things about me that I need to change before this can become my husband. So it's really, really good. If you haven't already, go grab your book, you guys. They're good. She has a Kindle edition. I know I'm just paper girl, so I had to write in it, and I'm gonna go back and read it one more time because I need to just highlight and just take my notes. As I was reading it before, it was like each chapter I had to journal out, like, okay, what we gotta change, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. It was I think it's a book that it's a self-help. People might think like, oh, it's what do you do when you're single, but it's not. It's not. I think you're never too old or too young to renovate yourself, and that did it. So in your book, you talked about how after college you made the decision to stay in Atlanta, and that was a very critical decision. Why was that such an important decision for you?
Because if I had stayed in South Carolina, I would not be talking to you right now. I'm just being real. Like, being the baby of the family, it's like having multiple parents. Okay. And I can remember a couple of years ago, I had considered moving back home. Okay. And my brother was like, no, you can't do that. Like, you built an amazing life, a great life for yourself. You have to stay where you're at. Like, we're good down here. You know what I mean? And so for me, we all go through that phase where we love that comfort zone. Yeah. And I knew, okay, I can just go home, stay with my parents, get a job. I could have been there the rest of my life. But that's not what God wanted for me. I would not be who I am. I would not have blossomed. I wouldn't have been able to achieve a lot of the things that I did. Even now when I go home, my mom is in my face like every 5 minutes. I'm like, Mom, working on something. Who are you on the phone with? I'm like, Mom.
Yes.
So God knew that, in order for that umbilical cord to still be cut, that I had to be away.
So you had to go so you could grow. So that is amazing. Yeah. Also in the book, you talked about Ruth and how she positioned herself to get Boaz. Why do you think that Ruth in the Bible is such a great example of a woman?
Wow. Because she was obedient. And she had a mentor. Okay. I think that a lot of times we try to go through life without having that mentor or having that person that we can go to pour into us, to give us wisdom. We try to figure things out on our own, but the reality is we need someone, we need to glean from women who have been where we aspire to go, so that we can make sure that we don't go astray, that we go in the direction that we're supposed to go in. And so the amazing thing was that she wasn't looking for a handout. She was like, you know what? I got to take care of me and Naomi. I'm going to go and do whatever I have to do. And just in her obedience for being willing to not get a handout and just work for herself and to take care of her household, look at what happened. She wound up being seen by Boaz, and the rest is history. But her work ethic, absolutely.
Work ethic. You guys should definitely read up on the story of Ruth in the Bible. I feel like my grandmother first brought it to me because she's a preacher. She was just like, read this story. And I think when I was studying the different women in the Bible, I'm like, why am I reading about this? But then after, when you really understand, like, she positioned herself in a place to be prepared and equipped, and that's when all her blessings came. It wasn't when she just was thought, I'm just going to pray for it and it's going to come. It's like, yeah, you prayed for it, but did you do the work associated with it to get it? So I think she can show you what to do when you actually do the work and not just expect it to come. So I watched your video on YouTube about showing up so that you can be selected, and you talked about putting your name on the list so that you can be selected. I think for each woman and wherever she is in her life, showing up can be different for her. So what are some ways that women can show up so that they can be selected?
Wow. Well, for one, don't stay at home. Well, I mean, I know it's the pandemic, you know what I mean? We're all kind of in our houses now, but once we get over this, not just staying in your house all the time. You know, for me, when I started really building my business, you know, here I am, I'm traveling, always on a plane, or always driving somewhere, and now I'm meeting different people, I'm networking. So really tapping into the vision or the ideas that you have, because you never know whose paths you're going to cross. So for each woman, it's different because all of our purposes are different. But when you really start to walk it out, and you really, for me, it was a lot about seeking God and just being in prayer about which direction to go in. But when I really started to walk in that direction and get into alignment with the plan and purpose for my life, then it's like, here come all these doors, here come all these amazing people that I never knew that I would ever be connected to. You know, so really that's what I mean by putting yourself out there, you know, and not being afraid to go to those different places, like going to the sports restaurants, sports bar, you know, all those different things at night, making sure that you have a balanced life. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. I feel like everybody is like, they want somebody and they don't know where to go. They think, do I just go sit in Lowe's? Like, how do I, where am I going? Like, where's the man? And I think, like you said, it's different for each purpose. But like you said, when you pray and you have that time with God, he'll order your steps so that, okay, I'm going to go here. You never know with going to a restaurant that you Googled may change for you, because your husband might be there waiting. So growing up, you wanted to be an attorney. When did that change?
That changed when I got rejected to every law school. I tried twice and I didn't get in, and I was like, you know what, God, you have a different route for me to take. And, you know, of course I felt like a failure at first, but really not realizing it was just a redirection for me to really go the path. Because sometimes we can have our own plan, and that's not the plan we're supposed to follow. You know, ultimately it's his plan we follow. And so, like I said, I felt like a failure, but me not going to law school was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me, because I would not be doing all the things I'm doing right now.
Yes, I love how you flipped your failures into something positive. I feel like some people, when they fail, you could either stay there or you could learn from it and grow from it. And I'm happy that you took the direction to, okay, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to try something else. So that's amazing. So congratulations. You launched your Upgrade collection, which is merch. It's t-shirts that says, I am the Upgrade and I am in the wealthy place. How'd you come up with that?
You know what, when I was writing the book, that's really where they came from. Because ultimately, when a man does marry us, we do upgrade his life. You know, so I think that if we start walking as the upgrade as single women, it'll attract the right man, they attract things to us, you know. But just having that mindset, and then the wealthy place, like, you know, we have the power to get wealth, and it may not just be financial wealth, but wealth in every area of our lives. We can prosper, you know. So just knowing that you are that place, you are that outlet where people know if they connect, there's nothing but success that's going to come. There's nothing but blessings that's going to come. There's nothing but good things that are going to happen, because you are that wealthy place.
On top of writing your own book, you were a contributor to Shamika Dean's Positioning Yourself to Be a Wife. So do you think that women should go on from reading your book to reading that? Like, who is that book for?
Positioning Yourself to Be a Wife, it was focused on being, it was focused on, I would say, it's amazing, because Shamika really shared a lot of her story, but she has a powerful movement and ministry of healing. So I really believe that you could really start with either book, to be honest with you. Because hers has so many different chapters and so many different layers of getting into position, you know, in order to be a wife. I think that with mine, I really focus on a lot of different areas of your life besides being a wife. You know what I mean? Like you as the total woman. So I think that might be the difference, but there are some similarities as well.
So you are always busy. You have these 2 businesses. You're writing books. You got t-shirts. What is next for you?
Wow. I'm actually working on my next book right now. Because it's like once you start writing, you can't stop. It's like it awakens something in you. You know, so really that, continuing to focus and grow my business. And that's really it. That's really it. Just continue and take it one day at a time. Well, I asked you guys to ask me some questions, and you guys definitely did. So we're gonna go into the reader questions. Somebody said, what advice do you have for a post-grad student who wants to make a career shift? Wow. Well, I would say this. I'm definitely not in the field that I studied when I went to Spelman. Because I mean, I do work as a paralegal as well. I've done that. So I did still work in the legal field, which was great. But I would say that there's nothing wrong with taking a career shift. You know, even when you look at a lot of famous entrepreneurs, there are a lot of people out there who might have had, for example, who were running hair salons for a long time. Then they closed it down and they moved on to something else that brought them, you know, a greater return on the investment that they've made. So what I would say to you is, you know, see if the career shift is something that you can do as an entrepreneur, or if it is just another corporate job that you want to get. I suggest taking the trainings and stuff that you need in order to make sure that you can operate and function to the best of your ability in that position.
Somebody else said, do you believe your purpose changes as you grow?
I believe that it continues to unfold as you grow. Because this is so crazy. Somebody else asked me like a similar question. I believe that as you continue to grow and evolve as a woman, there are new things that you learn about yourself as you go on to new levels in life. And so I believe even as you get married, you're going to continue to evolve as a wife, right? Because you're going to grow as husband and wife. As the single woman, you're going to continue to grow and evolve as you start stepping into different things. Like for me, you know, being an entrepreneur has stretched me beyond capacity. You know what I mean? Like learning like that there's a hustler in me, you know, because if I'm not out here working and hustling, there's no income coming in, you know. So so that you're always going to grow, you're always going to evolve. You're going to continue to learn and unravel. It's just like a banana, continuing to peel off the layers. You're going to continue to learn things about yourself.
Yes, you are right. Entrepreneurship will stretch you to you be like, I didn't even know I could work this hard. But when your income is dependent on you, you make sure you gonna go to work. You might not show up for all the jobs you might have had. You might not have given 100%. But once you're working for yourself, you're giving 110 because that's the only way you eat.
Exactly.
Somebody said, as far as dating, do you think women should stick around and help a man grow or just move on?
If he's actually working towards something, yes. But if he's someone where he's just completely being lazy and like you're continuing to give ideas, and it's no, because in order for you to be a helpmeet, he has to have a vision for you to help meet. So if he's not a man of vision, sometimes you may be able to help him discover his purpose. Each person is different. But if it's like the same thing over time where his passion hasn't been ignited or he's not changing his language, I think that you should move on.
Even though they know in their heart what to do, it's like from hearing it from someone, it can make you move because you hear it, I think. You might know it all along, but once someone tells you, you start to move. Someone said, should women have a list when dating, like non-negotiables?
So what I would say is, I believe you should definitely have your standards. That's for sure. Definitely have standards, because there are different things that you won't settle for, but don't let your list, like, don't let it be so excessive that you miss out on a good thing.
Excessive. Don't let it be too excessive. If it gets to the physical, you're like, wait a minute, he got to be tall, dark, and lovely. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Somebody said, advice for being the only single friend. I tend to find myself getting jealous.
I've been there. But you know what's crazy is that some of my friends wound up going through divorces. So sometimes things are not as they seem, and you may actually be in the better position than you think. So just because you're not with someone doesn't mean you're not in a good position. You're not in a good place. You know, so instead of focusing on that, focus on all the other great things that are happening in your life, you know, because ultimately the right person is going to come when you least expect it.
Yes. Someone said, do you think dating someone with different faiths is a non-negotiable? I love my man, but I'm trying to get him to believe in God like me.
You know what? You can lead that person to Christ. Okay. And it doesn't have to be something where you're just like completely stalkerish, like you don't do this. You know, the life that you live can change. There was a guy that I dated at one time, and he had fallen off with God. Okay. And I wasn't like all over him, like, well, you gotta do this, because he saw how I treated people and how I lived my life. It caused him to say, you know what, I want to start going where she's going. I want to start doing. So I think that if you just lead by example, that will help.
Yes. Someone said, advice for dating right now. I'm trying to remain abstinent. Do I tell the guy right when we start, or do I wait until we have a connection?
I think that you should just flow naturally. Okay. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, you don't want to push someone away immediately because of that, because you could build a connection, and because of his connection with you, it could cause him to say, you know what, we don't even have to be intimate. You know, because when some guys hear that, they immediately like, and they'll miss out on a good thing. So just build the connection first, and then it'll flow naturally.
Yes. Someone said, going back to an ex after you've both worked on yourselves, is it a good or bad idea?
I think it depends on the situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be the right person, wrong time.
Right.
Sometimes it could be the wrong person, wrong time, period. You know, but if you all were headed in a good direction and you were really helping each other and your purposes, then it could be something that you revisit. But if it's not taking you towards your purpose, don't
even waste your time. Someone said, advice for dating in your 20s. I'm really specific and wanting my equal, but my friends think I'm being picky. I know that guys take longer to find themselves.
Again, you know, you should date with a purpose. And not, because that will save you from a whole lot of heartbreak and stuff. And you don't want to take any toxins when you are connected with the right person, because that's a whole lot of healing that'll have to happen. And you want to make sure that you're whole. So there's nothing wrong with, you know, being careful in your 20s. I was very selective as well. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for asking your questions. Do you have any final words for the people?
You know what, y'all, especially in this quarantine that we're in, make sure that you guys come out of this cocoon flying. You know, some of y'all might have gone in crawling like that worm does, that caterpillar does, going into that cocoon, but eventually it comes out flying. And so I hope that during this time, that you don't focus on the loneliness or frustration because of who you're not with or what you don't have, and that you begin the process to fully flourish, because all of that will come at the right time, but you have to attract it to you.
Yes. So like I said, you guys can grab her book on Amazon. It's sold, honestly, not even just Amazon. You probably can get it anywhere you can get a book. Anywhere you can get a book, Kindle. Make sure you connect with her. After this pandemic is past, we'll be at the next events, because I'm super excited for it. I think we need to fellowship together as women. I feel like a lot of women period apart, but we can definitely rebuild that. So thank you so much for what you are doing. Thank you for talking to us, and continue to walk in your God-given purpose.
Thank you so much for this. This really encouraged me today.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, you guys, that wraps up my talk with Courtney. This was so good. I am full, you guys. She dropped gems for the single ladies. She dropped gems for the women in relationships. She dropped gems for women of all walks of life. This book, What Waiting Looks Like, is available almost everywhere where books are sold, so make sure you grab one. It's an easy read and it works on working on you from within. Thank you so much to Courtney for being here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.